Hey, what's up, guys? Just a quick chat with you. I wanted to go over some of the thoughts that I've had over the last few weeks. I think will be really important for you if you're planning a trip over here to do like a discovery trip and figure out what area is going to be the right home base for you. There's some pretty important things to consider. I don't know if I just ignored these things before, but I'll say this. A few weeks ago, I had a pretty major back issue episode with back spasms. I made a video about it. I'll leave a link for it in the description actually, because I go into detail about the experience of some of the limitations of living in a place like, Dumaguete or a provincial city. But in a nutshell, it was eye-opening, and it just really reminded me of the limitations of living in a place like this. If you're deciding to not live in a major city, let's just say a place like BGC, where I'd say that's your top tier without a doubt, not only top hospital with St. Luke's, but the best accessibility to get to St. Luke's if something were to happen. And, being in a place like this, and I live on the beach in Bakong, and, the ambulance couldn't even find the place, and it's a dirt road, and my buddy had to go find the ambulance to get him here. And then, some of the stuff that I experienced when I made my way to the hospital. And yeah, it was just like, holy shit. Like, man, it just got me thinking, like, what am I doing here? Should I be here? When you're dealing with health, you start thinking differently, right? Like, without your health, what do we have? Like, the party's over. You can't do all the things that you want to do. So I started thinking deeply about these things during that week, let's just say, of recovering from that. And so thinking about the limitations of healthcare. During that time, I also started thinking about, oh, man, if I'm going to have back issues, riding my motorbike all the time. Started thinking about that. And then I started really thinking about, some of the chaos as far as the driving, as far as the lack of order and the chaotic drivers that are coming and going along the highways and stuff like that. Like, it's not uncommon to have bikes or even cars or trikes that have no headlights. It is not uncommon to see really, really sketchy things happen on the road as far as high speed, crazy passing. Just to point out a few things, like if you're riding on the right-hand lane and if you're riding on the road and you need to turn left and cross over, like waiting for oncoming traffic to clear so you can make a left, you think it's clear, but there could be a bike coming on your left-hand side in your blind spot to pass you on the left as you're about to turn left because the traffic cleared. They'll just plow right into you as you turn left. So you have to triple check to your left in an area that you just don't have to think about, an area that you don't really have to look, back home where you live, or in an area of the Philippines where there's a little bit more order to the driving. And I'm going to get to that here in this video, a place that I'm thinking about that you guys maybe want to consider if these kind of things aren't for you. And so I see sketchy shit happen all the time. Another, and probably the scariest thing, would be not only the high speed with like big trucks, but a lot of times when trucks are wanting to pass, they might pass not one car, but 3 or 4 cars coming down on the against traffic, coming straight for you on the road. And they don't even care if you're on the road on your bike. They're coming straight for you full speed to pass those 4 cars to get back in the lane. So you have to get out of the way. So you have to have your head on a swivel. You have to expect crazy stuff like that to happen on any given moment. It's pretty nutty. It's not like every moment is chaos and crazy, but it's enough. After a while, you really start to see more and more. Downtown Dumaguete, it's very congested, but it's not sketchy not in this sense, because it's slow going, right? You can't even go that fast because Dumaguete it gets congested. So everyone's just kind of merging. There's no stoplights or anything like that. So everything's just kind of flowing and merging, and it'll get jammed up. But it's when you leave the city, and let's say you get on the highway that goes north outside of the city, through Sabulon and then up to Bais, that road is insane. It's absolutely insane, the stuff that I've seen. The speed and the sketchiness. And then the other way would be going towards Bakong, where I am, and Darwin. And you can see some pretty crazy stuff happen through there. Definitely at certain times of day, high traffic times of day, people trying to get home. And then when it's dark, you see some crazy stuff happen, Anyways, I don't want to just kind of paint this crazy picture that it's just all awful and it's just all sketchy all the time, but it's something that I wanted to hammer down for you guys to think about. Quick splicing, guys, editing here. Forgot to mention, Valencia is the most chill out of the whole region, you know, of the Dumaguete region in terms of the roads. Once you're up in the Valencia area, you're not having that high speed, you know, crazy driving. It's just way different up there. It's way more chill. And if you're up in the hills, roaming around, same goes for all the hilly areas above, you know, Darwin. Once you're up in the hills, it's more just provincial country roads. You still have to deal with the headlight issue at night. You got to be really careful with that. And there's still going to be, you know, some crazy drivers. You're still going to see the crazy passing. It's everywhere. To be honest, it's kind of everywhere in the Philippines, right? Some areas are worse than others, and some areas are more concentrated than others. So if you are coming here, those two highways that shoot out of Dumaguete are the sketchiest for sure. There is, of course, the highway that goes up to Valencia from Dumaguete, and it can get kind of nutty on that one as well. Not as bad, though. It's actually not quite as bad as the other two. Just wanted to add that because Valencia does offer something unique in the Dumaguete region for a little bit more of a chill vibe. All right, back to the video. You know, when you're living in an area like this, and if you're looking to drive a scooter or a motorbike, you know, some of the risks. So yeah, I've been thinking about, I'm actually shopping for a car. You know, I've thought on and off about getting a car, and I've talked to other guys that did that switched to a car, or they do both and they just ride the scooter or motorbike during certain times or certain areas. I mean, I love riding my Honda ADV. We go on these day trips. Just spent 2 days in Siquijor and just riding around. It's amazing. Up in the hills here, ride up to a waterfall, ride to the springs. But the day in, day out, leaving my place, getting on that highway, and I'll go down to the boulevard to go for a walk. And it's just, it takes it out of you when you're on the road. Yeah, so these are things that I've thought about. And so between the healthcare limitations and some of the chaotic elements of living in a place like this or a provincial city, as much as I absolutely love it here, guys, like this was my number one choice for a place to live, and it still is an amazing place that I don't plan on leaving, but I'm thinking about, is there a next phase? What's the timing for that? Is it soon? Is it something that would make sense sooner? Is it something down the road? I don't know. But a place that has a little more order, a little less chaos, a little better healthcare, better access to healthcare, clean infrastructure. I love getting out and walking. I love nature. And this particular city has great walkability. The nature thing is there. It's definitely not as exciting as this area for sure, but I'm not totally sure yet what it has to offer. I don't want to rule it out until I spend a little more time. And I'm talking about Iloilo. You know, I don't want big city. I just don't. I did Cebu for quite a while, and I realized I'm not a big city guy. And the heavy traffic and the craziness that you definitely will get in Cebu, it just got to me after a while. I love a lot of aspects of Cebu City. I spent quite a bit of time now in BGC, and it has so much to offer. It has the best hospital, and it has easy access to it. But I felt stuck in the bubble, and I just always wanted to have more freedom to get out and explore and do more nature and not such a big, heavy city. And so, yeah, Dumaguete is great for that. Iloilo is more of an established city with more organization, more infrastructure, like I said. It's got Guimaras Island that I'm anxious to explore that, to see what you can do there, what kind of nature, swimming, snorkeling. I don't know, but it's about as big as Siquijor, so I'm very curious to check that out. I want to know what living in Iloilo is like beyond what I've seen. I've been there twice, 2 nights each time, not enough. So I want to go there. I want to connect with the expat community. I want to really check out all the restaurants. I want to check out all the cafes. I want to see if it has more of a cool, exciting element to it that I didn't quite see before. I'll be honest, it didn't fully excite me when I was there because of some of the things that I really wanted that you can get here in this area. But in so many ways, when I go there, I'm like, this makes perfect sense. There's so many aspects that I do love. And so I feel like I need to get back there, make another video, do a deeper dive, and just see not only how livable it would be, but how much fun could you have living in a place like Iloilo for a guy like me that really loves nature, that really appreciates unique places, unique atmosphere, a feeling of freedom, you know, to go up in the hills and have a cappuccino overlooking the water, like the things that I do all the time here. going to the hot springs. I don't think it's going to have nearly as much as this area has, but I'm thinking if you really weigh in the benefits of that area compared to some of these drawbacks that I've been mentioning here, and then maybe discover some nature spots and some other places to go and hang out there that I didn't discover the last time I was there, it might actually be a pretty overall ideal place to live. Perhaps for me, and I think for a lot of guys that are, if you're thinking about some of these things that I'm saying, and if this kind of resonates with you of what you're looking for and what you want to avoid and what you want to make sure you have in a city, I just think it's going to check a lot of boxes for a lot of guys. I know it's up and coming. I know it's one of the fastest growing cities in the Philippines. When I was there, I thought, man, it has a lot of potential. It has the bones. It has this great planned layout with the esplanade and miles of pathway along a river and trees and plants and, man, a lot of stuff that I love. All right, I'm kind of repeating myself here. How about this, guys? Just expect another video of that area. I plan on going up there pretty soon, actually, because I'm so curious about it. And then at least I'll be able to share it with you guys, and at least I'll be able to know for sure if this is like the next phase of my life in the Philippines, if that's where I'm going to be going next. It's the only way that I'm going to find out is if I go up there and really dig in a little bit deeper and a little bit harder than I did on the last 2 trips to Iloilo. Okay, so stay tuned for that. I appreciate it. One last splicing, guys, I forgot to mention, if you really appreciate an area that has good infrastructure, walkability, bikeability, clean, not a lot of traffic, modern comforts, green space, Clark Freeport zone, without a doubt. In fact, I was just there not that long ago. I made a really deep dive video on that. So if you're curious about it, you've heard about it, or if you want to know about it, check out the video, link in the description. For me, Iloilo just calls my name a little bit more than Clark, but Clark is phenomenal for that kind of stuff. So check it out. If there's still a lot of questions that you guys have and you're trying to plan a trip out here, reach out to me. I do one-on-one phone calls or video calls to do trip planning, to talk about anything there is to do about expat life in the Philippines, to make your decision-making easier, to make it better. It's more than just a phone call or a video call. What I'll give you after the phone call, something organized to help you have something in writing to plan your trip and to have your head around things, because it's a lot to think about. It's a lot to take in. Last thing, guys, I just launched a newsletter, but it's not what you think. It's not a typical newsletter. I have all these stories and I have all these things that I've experienced since I've been here. Some of it's just like wild, crazy things, or I'm calling it the misadventures, my misadventures in the Philippines. And I'm going to be putting out stories through this newsletter. If you want to sign up for it, totally free, click the link in the description for that, and you'll get, I don't know if it's going to be every 2 weeks or every month, but I'm going to be putting out a bunch of these unique stories that I don't talk about on my channel, and you will get it in your inbox, in your email, and you can check it out. That is one of many things that I'm actually working on the side, just to kind of add layers to what I'm offering, all about expat life here in the Philippines. Guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. More videos to come. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.